which is Manta Lake by CSW. Another very kind of unique park that that I didn't really expect it to be this big. I mean, he posted a bunch of different screens that are all very different. I didn't expect a park of this size. It is very nice to see. Definitely see the obvious influence from Nin, some of this entrance area of these brown dirt mountains and this foliage. Reminds me a lot of his Animal Kingdom Park. The architecture, not so much. It's a little bit more blocky. Kind of seems a little bit more like old school, like LL-esque, which he's an LL player, I believe, primarily. I know he plays LL a lot more, at least recently. So kind of see the obvious LL influence here. Moving towards this coaster, which I actually really like this banana. That's pretty funny. Banana Blaster. It's a great sign too right here. These umbrellas are cool. So kind of this building, how it kind of like wraps around this midway, I really like. The layouts, I mean, this is not really the kind of park where you can go and say, oh, these layouts aren't good. It's just kind of not really very realistic. It's very old school. So aesthetically, I really like the layout. The color choice is all good in a lot of these coasters. This is all, I believe this is all NCSO. Yeah, 100% NCSO. So it's very cool to see such a park of this scale be NCSO, but I do quite like the coaster there. And this is the Splash Pad Rise. I'm not quite as much of a fan of this. I don't know if it really works. I don't know if it really works quite as well. The kind of the brown here. I feel like the foliage is a little bit weird. It kind of seems a little bit bare in this area. Maybe he would have pushed this mountain back a little bit and added some foliage at the base, a little bit more than he had. Maybe would have been able to separate a little bit more. The buildings are cool. I like the drop. How's the queue goes over it. I mean, the buildings aren't the most interesting things, but they serve their purpose, and I mean, they don't look bad. I don't think. I think they look decent enough to where they fit what he's going for. Then he has a banana plantation here. Kind of one of the things I was kind of confused about when I first saw, but I guess this whole area is kind of a banana theme, I guess, which is kind of interesting. Maybe there's a little bit deeper theming than that I'm missing. And then we go to the Japan section. Probably some of my favorite architecture in the park. I like the roofs he has. I think this is a sort of style that works really well in NCSO. Sort of Japanese architecture style. Now I actually really like the banana area. I don't know. I mean, it kind of serves as the entrance too. I think it's the most unique area. I mean, I really like these mountains. Kind of the way the path is very like non-linear, but I mean, I don't know. It's maybe it's a little big, but I don't know. I don't think it hurts the park at all, in my opinion. I actually wish you would have loaded this track a little bit more so it doesn't glitch, but really slow there too. Kind of wish you would have fixed this again. He simply could have just rebuilt it, and it would have been fine. It's a cool eating area right here. I like the coaster decent enough. I mean, it's kind of slow, probably one of the weaker layouts, but the colors work well. I kind of like the footprint of it, so. And the only thing that's kind of weird is that you kind of go over this bridge and you're still in the Japanese area. I don't know, I kind of could use the bridge as like a transition between the areas, but that being said, I do like this little plaza. It's just kind of weird how it's placed, I guess. This is probably my favorite architectural area of the park. I really like these buildings with the flowers on top, kind of like the overgrown, excuse me, feeling. And I like the eating area, the picnic area, I guess. And these buildings is really cool. Are really cool. I don't really. Yeah, I guess the vultures are circling the coaster. Exodus. I mean, yeah. Yeah, this is supposed to be a Persian area. Yeah. Yeah, I don't really know much about the themes he's going for here. I don't really know if I judge the park based on how well he executes the themes, but the coaster's nice. I'm not the biggest fan of these 4D coaster catwalks though, but the layout is nice. Is this continuous? Interesting. But anyways, I like this little area right here. Oh. Actually, Jamaica, if you can lower diagonal path onto the tile, like here, I don't know if I can explain it right here. Sorry about cutting the review in, but you see how you have this tile right here, and normally you would place, I don't know if I'm able to find an object that looks even anything close. Just imagine this is kind of like the diagonal. Normally you'd place a path object, place the path object like this and lower it down. You can actually place a path object like this on the flat bit of the tile and it'll work. So you can have like the water and then have the tile, oh my God, this is a disaster. Have the path object like right here, lower down, and it'll look fine. I did that before and it's worked. Anyways, I do like the the stuff back here too. I like these. I like these sort of rocky outcrops with the foliage around them. It's a good look. I'm gonna move to the Egyptian area, which is very interesting, I think. Lots of cool color. You know, the facades all look very nice. I like how it's like along the water right here. That's pretty cool. I guess actually this is a Babylonian area. I don't really know. I mean, there's a wall and there's water. I don't know. This is a cool little fort. All the architecture in this area is really fantastic. I like the canoe ride under the SLC type coaster. The layout of the SLC coaster is also nice. I do like the colors. I like the station. The queue is maybe a little bit big, but you know, that's fine. That's probably my favorite thing in the park is this little row of buildings right here with the eating area and the color he has. I'll have to show you if I remember how to do the path block or not remember to show you. I'll do the path block thing. Yeah, I mean, this is a really solid area. I really like the style that he employed here, different sort of colors and architecture, different forms he's used to kind of make it look, everything look a little bit different. Temple's cool. I like how this barrel rolls over this temple. Some cool stuff, and the cues around the zero road here. Like I said, the cue just feels a little bit big. I don't know what the deal is with this coaster. Why it's so just a little so few riders, I guess, but very solid area, I think. And we're moving into the, I don't know what this is, like the German or the Nordic or whatever, Swedish area. This is probably the best coaster. I feel like the layout, this just feels very RCT. I love these buildings. The scale is very nice. And it's a look. He used these, they made the pyro roofs look very nice. Usually I don't really like the way these look, but the way he employed them, the color scale that he has is very nice. And I like this, the little detail he had at the top of the mountain here, the theming. It's cool. The entrance is sort of interesting. I don't know if I like these like alternate style buildings that he has with these wall or these roofs. I like the path roofs. Like this one is nice, and then this one is nice too. But otherwise, I'm not the biggest fan of the the architectural style on this little section right here. But the rest of these, the pyro roof buildings are just fantastic. They scale super well. And then we have the Rapids ride, which is part of the Pine Trail, which also has this wild mouse, which is nice. I like this little mine theming right here. It's kind of cool. Not sure. This is picnic tables. That's kind of an interesting idea. I didn't notice these before, but that's a intuitive way of making picnic tables. There's only two. Anyways, the detail level here wasn't the greatest, but on this station here, but there's not really much you can do with diagonal stuff with an NCSO. I like the aero coaster, I guess. I mean, the colors are nice, but the pacing wasn't the best. It's sort of the middle of the layout. Like this, I'm not the biggest fan of this turnaround right here. The station's kind of okay. There's too much brown, I guess. The entrance is very nice, and I like some of this area. This area is kind of cool. Yeah, I guess it's like the photo booth, I guess, or something. I don't know. The transition is very cool. And this is a nice stratagem. Is actually that many people raise them up or integrate them into architecture like this. I think the thing that hurts this area the most is that it's all brown. I know that's kind of the point of the Western area, but I don't know. Brown never really looks great to me, especially when the path is the same color as the buildings and all that stuff. Kind of blends together. mean, the layout of this area is pretty cool. I like how it's kind of like islands of buildings and stuff. It's very, very cool. Some of these buildings too are kind of nice. Some cool facades and stuff. I like this log flume a lot, actually. Great use of layering of the track. Kind of like how it goes over this little terrain bit and kind of gets in this isolated area. But solid ride overall. This barn, which I actually really like this barn. Maybe it's a little bit big, but I think it's pretty well done. It's cool use of track texture. This is a very cool silo and farmhouse, actually. And there's like the wind vane, I guess. Yeah, weather vane. It's pretty cool little area. I like this pine trail area. The way the coaster dominates the rapids in this area is cool too. I was kind of like around the water. This is probably the most bland area. I think the most like park, like standard theme park feel. I like this area. I like how we actually, and so the guests can sit at these square picnic tables. I mean, this area is cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the architecture itself, but it looks nice enough, and it does its job. Some of these buildings are a little bit weird. Yes, I like that little game section. I don't know if it really fits with this park, but the creativity in the stuff was nice. I like these little sort of covered areas in the middle of the path here. Just add some color, and add some variety instead of just having these planters. The frog hopper, whirly birds thing was cool too. I like these rides. I don't feel like people use them a lot. I mean, they're kind of rare. They're only used in certain parks, but I think they had some cool integration with the path interaction for a kiddie ride like this. We're moving over into the Roman area, which is kind of always a problem, I feel like, with NCSO, is that the Roman areas are always so bland because you don't really have that many options for walls. I mean, everyone kind of makes these boring brick buildings. I don't really like these buildings. They just look so boring. I mean, they do what they're supposed to, but they're definitely, I don't think they stand up to the quality of the rest of the buildings in the park. They kind of look the same as the path too, which I never really like. But this right here, I really like this Pantheon. The slides are just cool too. I don't know how you'd really get the water park to really work with this. I guess a lot of this here is kind of like a water park, but it's not really much of a transition between this and the normal park. I really like this Coliseum. It's fantastic. It fits well and definitely looks like it's part of this park. I really like the use of the columns here too. Usually not a very nice object in my opinion, but I really like the way you use these here, and some good diagonal and track texture use as well. I'm not the biggest fan of this coaster. The top hat's kind of ugly in my opinion. I don't know, this seems like a short layout, I guess. I mean, it's probably be a really cool coaster to ride. The station's nice. The columns they use here and then the Parthenon area are pretty cool. I mean, it's a nice coaster, but definitely not my favorite. Wish you could have done something a little bit more with the top hat. I like how it dominates this kind of area over here, but I don't know. It's not my favorite. The slides are nice though. These slides, I like the aqueducts, I guess. And these buildings. This building's a little bit nicer than the rest, and this one is too, just because it's a little bit more texture and color. The slides are cool, and this one is this building I like as well. And then over here we have this temple, I guess. I don't really know. That's temple. This is fantastic. It's probably the best building in the park. I like how the guys can actually like go and walk around in it, and they have these supporting, interesting supports with the actual Colosseum object. Quite nice theming. I like the slide, I guess. It's very cool. I like how it looks over kind of this river too. It's a very interesting park. It looks great from zoomed out view, which is a plus. Definitely influenced by some other NCSO builders. Especially with these like mountain till type things right here and then in the back and stuff. Another detail I'm kind of noticing is that how he had these transitions with the land texture. Very cool. It's just like more sandy than like more muddy in the actual lake, how it normally, or how it would be in real life. Because this is just more like standing water, and this is actually flowing water, so it would, I don't know, look a little bit different in terms of land texture, I guess. It's clean too. It's not this messy blob of stuff. So overall, it's a very solid park. It's definitely two releases that I wasn't really expecting, or didn't expect to see. Didn't think they'd be of the quality that they were, but two things I really liked. I probably would give this park a 70 just because I like the different areas. I like the architecture and how you embrace the fact that it was NCSO and didn't try to like make it more than it really is. And everything in the park, I think, is really nice. And I like the size too, and how he actually finished the park at this side is very cool to see. You don't really see large parks anymore. Not sure exactly how big this map is. Probably like 150 or 200. Let me see. He's a little bit bigger than 150, maybe like 175. Yeah. It really feels like there's too much path either. It's a very RCT2 park. There's some LO, a little bit more in the entrance area. Not really sure what the order he built this in, but I like the areas in the back a lot more. Like this area, the sort of Middle Eastern area, and this area a lot more than like sort of the areas in the beginning.
solid park.